the bronze European division. As I was saying earlier, there's these teams where, again, you think bronze, it's these teams that we don't know anything about. There's no players in there that we recognize. Actually, one of the teams here, their name, it's just a bunch of bars. It's really stupid. But anyways, one of the teams in the finals are actually up 1-0 now. It's Jolim, Heartskate, Mr. Ling, Saintrox. I mean, Jolim, Heartskate especially, I definitely recognize those names. So, again, these are players that... this is bronze US East, or bronze European, actually. So they're in the finals. Again, so some names that you definitely might recognize there. And also the team that they're playing, Slash Defenders, Joke Shot, Papa Turkish, shout out to that right there, Yongi PK. I mean, again, some names that I've at least heard of before. I don't necessarily know exactly, but so yeah, there's talent at all levels. There really is.
Yeah.
In the divisions. But anyways, enough of that though. It looks like Game 3 has officially restarted once again.
Yep.
So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and jump back into it. Complexity taking on V0TE. Game number 3. Which team will face Trademark in the grand finals? So let's take a look. All right, so we got Pestilence Electrician being blind banned here by Complexity.
Yep.
So
don't want to deal with that Pestilence.
Yeah, obviously no. If you are just tuning in, you're like, wait, what's going on? No, they of course they remade as Swinamelons, and V0TE over there was so well mannered, and they volunteered to remake after Chessie actually disconnected right off the bat, so causing him to miss a deny with Tempest. But here we go. So again with the locking phase, Bloodhunter final lock.
I thought he was going to pick Flint.
That bastard.
Doesn't matter, though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. As long as 4 to the 6 are the heroes that were actually picked up. That's the good thing. So making it through here, and then eventually, of course, we'll get back into the game and get things started, or continued, I should say, as far as game number 3 goes. So that'd be some fun bands.
I know. Just Rampage. Rampage. He's so strong.
That's the one entertaining thing about these remakes. You get these just random ass bands and whatnot. All right, Aluna's the first pick. There you go, Hammerstorm Engineer. Back over to V0TE.
Deadwood and
Balfagor.
Yes.
Yeah. Deadwood Balfagor here.
Wretched Hag.
With Hag.
Balfagor.
So things going smooth here.
Yep.
All right. So Trademark Esports, I think it's safe to say, at least some of the players, if not the whole team, they're probably just watching this series, whether it's on HoNcast or I guess that's their only option, so on HoNcast here. But again, kind of scouting out both their possible opponents. Obviously, as I said earlier, they've knocked down both of these teams to the losers bracket eventually. The winners semifinals against Complexity, and then V0TE, they actually won 2-0. I know when it said on bracket it was 2-1, but they actually won 2-0. So against V0TE, it was 2-1 against Complexity earlier on. But anyway, so they're waiting for one of these two teams, and again, kind of scouting out just a little bit before, I am sure. We'll see. We got to vote the final pick. Make it happen. Make it happen, Swindle. Got to play Grider.
Pick that Bloodhunter.
Yeah. Then Complexity, and then they're like, oh, shit, remake. Complexity like, no remake. You got to stick with it.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun? No, it's not going to happen, though. All right. But, again, even seeing it a second time picked up, still, V0TE's lineup, man, it is a little bit different. But it's there's some good push over there. That's for sure. Balfagor brings a lot of – and, again, the roles. Usually, Slick's playing Play Grider. Like, what?
Yeah.
You would never see that when he was on TD Esports, so it's just so weird. So different.
I'm interested to see who gets the Astrolabe and who doesn't. Like, is Play going to pick it up? Is Keeper going to pick it up early? Because they do have quite an early game pushing team with Balfagor and Keeper. Really no hard late game carry. They prefer, I think, to run it this way. At the same time, it's one of those things that people speculate, like, why not have Slicks run that hard carry when he's so good at it? But trying something out here and want to take it to Complexity early on.
Yeah. So again, with the remake, they did decide to they also agreed on the same lane, so they're going to go ahead and have Engineer come down here, place the Ward of Sight, which he did the first game, and we'll just make sure Tempest actually denies a creep here too. Wouldn't that be funny after all of this if you just simply forgot to deny creep?
Yeah.
It's like, well, that was pointless. No, but obviously Chessie would never do that. He's going to actually deny the middle lane, actually. So I guess that makes sense, that he's going to deny the middle lane creep rather than the bottom lane creep here, Trough?
I think you can – no, I think you should deny bottom. Like, maybe the thinking is you're already pulling the creeps with the bear, and that's fine. But that still doesn't take away from the fact that you're denying one extra creep from this lane or from the Balfagor. And I don't think you really need the perfect lane control in mid because it is a mid lane. But I don't know. Again, it doesn't really matter that much. But like I said, if Skyso is able to get this creep camp pulled to while Boo Boo pulls it around and stuff, Yeah, I think the smartest way is what Moon Manor is doing. If he pulls it past this camp, there's nothing that they can do.
Yeah.
If he pulls it past the long way next to the hard camp or that medium camp, then you can pull the creeps to your own creeps.
Well, we'll see what Moon Meander does right here. You also made that point. That's actually the animated tree at the top lane, doing a similar thing to Boo Boo, of course, and pulling the creep wave away and tanking that, and so pushing it up as a result in favor of Plague Rider. But yeah, middle matchup. So one of the creeps was denied. No, one of the creeps was not denied. What did he? So he did deny a bot. Where did he deny? Did he?
Look at what KZU has done here.
Confused.
By the way.
What has KZU done? Where is he? Balfagor.
I think he's still denied mid.
Oh wow.
But
okay, did he deny mid? Okay.
Yeah, but I wasn't. I was watching this bottom lane. KZU actually pulled the Hellborn creeps to this neutral camp spot, and that's really smart because it's actually going to give them more farm.
Yeah.
They're going to get the neutral camps on top of the regular spawns from Hellborn. So that was a good job by him. We might be seeing a lot more of that now.
Yeah.
As a problem to rectify that problem against Wild Soul.
That's smart. Yeah. That's you said. I mean, that's the first time that we've actually seen that, I believe, as far as like done like this, as far as executed like this, and you know, he got some decent farm out of that. He really did.
Yeah. I will say it doesn't change the fact that Wild Soul now has proper lane control.
Yeah.
And is getting free farm himself, but it's still a very good tool as to getting extra farm for you.
Maximizing yourself. So yeah, KZU deserving credit right there. So. Innovative strategy for sure. Deadwood 1 versus 2 here in the middle lane. In fact, Hammerstorm going to jump in right here. The keg set on top, pushing it backwards into the creep wave. Not nearly enough damage for a kill by any means, but really putting some great harassment out here early on. So as you said earlier, I mean, are we going to see that Aluna eventually shift here to the middle lane? Or will she just continue to stay at the bottom for now? I mean, right now, Skyzo kind of in the jungle currently, having a Ward of Sight or Ward of Rev delivered even. And he's going to try to counter this Ward of Sight here. But Franzi plays it in a pretty good spot, actually. A difficult spot to probably find, and I don't know if he probably will spot it right here with the courier.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
But it's still going to be blocked for a whole another full minute.
Yeah, that's
and on top of that, you're not going to want to pull it until you stack it,
yep.
Which means you can't really pull it until
4 basically.
4:15. Yeah, so it's already done its work pretty much, and that's the problem about having wards come out so late. Is it really a fix to the problem? Like if you have that ward revelation, is it still really helping you out? Not really. But Aluna does have an invis rune. They might actually be able to get a kill on the Moon if he doesn't suspect something's up. Some good body blocking right there. Balfagor doing a lot of damage onto Wild Soul, doing some body blocking as well with his creeps. Is it going to be enough? You do have a snipe onto Aluna. Oh, wow, that was very close. Living with 45 HP for Moonmander. I feel like they actually could have done that just a little bit better.
Yeah, well, no, KZU, he didn't micro the greatest. I mean, it seemed like the minions weren't wrapping around Wild Soul like you would expect him to do initially. I mean, he eventually kind of got up there, but Wild Soul was just able to break through. So I think you actually said it correctly. I mean, it just seemed like the execution wasn't the finest there coming out, and well, Moonmeander was able to get away. So definitely a bloodlust attempt coming out there from Vote, but unfortunately not able to come through with it. So we still remain without the kill, of course. Top lane, Plague Rider getting applied a lot of pressure from actually the solo Wretched Hag again being played by Haxorin. And you know, again, as you said, the first game, Haxorin had a horrible start, really, especially in that first game on Wretched Hag. And this game, hopefully, will be a little bit different for his sake. I mean, it is a 1v1 against a Plague Rider. So,
Plague Rider, it looks like Slick seems a little bit desperate in this lane. He just used his nuke for a last hit. And maybe he thought he's going to walk back to base, but he just bought Fortified Bracer right now, so he's probably going to stick out in this lane. Does he bring himself some regen? Actually, Haxorin applying a lot of pressure, the auto attacks as well as the haunt. He already used the Sonar Scream. We could see Bloodlust here coming out for Haxorin. One more auto attack. Slicks actually eats the tree and gives him some extra vision. I don't know if I agree with that, but Bloodlust coming out for Haxorin.
Yeah, as you said, I mean, was he going to go back and regen? He decided to stick in there, but he just got jumped big time by Haxorin, took advantage of the situation, and got the kill. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Deadwood, a lot of trouble right here. Great body blocking from Hammerstorm, using the Galvanize even to go in front. The Rotten Grass coming out. Great placement from Swinamulns, actually, and it might be enough to get away. The clear cut is going to be used, and yes, he will survive. That was a very good placement of the Rotten Grasp right there, in front of himself even, knowing that Hammerstorm was still going to chase, so great getaway.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't actually think that the Rotten Grasp is like that difficult to do. Like, I mean, that's what you have to do. Otherwise, you would be dead.
Yeah.
So he had to cast it in that way. But I was just surprised by the man up. Like, I did not expect them to keep going in like that. They applied a lot of extra auto attacks from both Hammerstorm and Engineer. And I gotta say, as far as Engineer play, I think Franzi does it best. Like, I see him get that turret out before the Kegstun even hits. Like, he just knows the perfect placement. I know a lot of players find it difficult. Like, they wait until they they know exactly the position of where that hero is going to go after the keg stun, because it is a little bit skewed sometimes, but he knows. Like, he knows exactly where they're going to go and place that turret immediately after to get the full effectiveness out of that. So, yeah, but good job by Swindle getting that Rotten Grasp, and he did stay with about 45 HP or so. We have a vote to pause coming up from Legion.
Yeah, definitely plays it very well, though, does Franz. I agree with you there when it comes to the engineer. So, yeah, this middle tower taking a bit of pressure, but goal per minute chart right now, again, only 5 minutes into the game, so still very early on, but Balfagor is having a very good time down here. Again, being played by Keizu. He is 32-8. Wow, I didn't even realize it was that high, but 32-8 creep farm. So he really has been maximizing that, just even despite that start. But again, remember the what he did here in the jungle has no doubt helped him. I mean, he's sitting at 336 gold per minute. He has a Ring of Teacher. He has 1,400 gold saved up. So Keizu going to be going the Mocker Brilliance early. No, just kidding. Probably not going to be the Mocker Brilliance, but Helm of the Black Legion perhaps. Of course, boots are always good choice as well. So we'll see what Keizu eventually spends that gold on. But yeah, this middle tower is going to take a little bit of pressure. I don't know if it's going to be enough for an actual tower kill, but it's going to start dropping right here, and we'll see how V0TE decides to defend this for the time being. And then there's Slicks here at the top, and especially after getting killed there, he still is winning in creep farm overall. I mean, he's 17-14 against a 14-6 Wretched Hag, but got caught out of position, and Haxorn took advantage, got the kill himself. So Plaguewater not having the greatest start up here at the top lane either.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he should have just walked away, but to be fair, I still feel like Plaguewater actually wins this lane. Like, I know it's Wretched Hag in his short lane, and Wretched Hag didn't even go for the Haunt build. He went for the Sonar Screen build, so I'm sad I didn't get to really watch this top lane closely enough. But Slicks, he is managing to get good CS at least, but dying is just not what you want to do. And now you have a double damage actually up on the bottled Wretched Hag. I love bottle in the side lane Wretched Hag, even though you think bottle, you think mid, but it doesn't matter. Bottle's still effective in side lanes when you're taking basically as much harass as you are expending mana, because you don't want to use bottle charges if you only are missing mana. You want to use them. You want to use those bottle charges for their full effectiveness. And now that he has a DD rune on top of that, by the time he hits level 6, that Wretched Hag will probably fall.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see how aggressive Slicks actually plays this lane setup here as far as that 1v1 situation goes. But gang, sitting in a pause here. This is game number 3. Quick recap. Looks like V0TE is going to be good to go here. Oh, look at that. Apparently, Swinnemelons is they're selling their house. Anyways, we are going to be resuming here, and this push obviously going to continue. But like I said, I don't think it's going to be enough for a tower kill. Maybe. I mean, if they really commit to this, Hammerstorm off to the side. He's trying to catch somebody over here, whether that's Swinnemelons playing this Deadwood or somebody else. But Swinnemelons playing it very safe, really behind the tower now, and going to be fine. The Rotten Grasp even going to be used to harass a little bit, even get a creep killer too. And we'll hold off the push for now. Wretched Hag in the meantime, though, jumping on a Plague Rider, has that double damage rune activated. Plague Rider needs to be careful here, dodging pretty effectively, actually. And Wretched Hag will still chase, again, using those bottle charges. So Plague Rider knows he's in a lot of trouble. Yeah, he buys the TP right there. He is going to TP out, and Slicks will stay alive. So that ends up being a pretty good getaway in his part, because he was definitely dead if he got jumped on once again. Very Wretched Hag. A great getaway there.
I feel like he actually could have just TP'd to this tower.
That's true, yeah.
He's going to miss out on a lot of farm as a result, and he's going to have a relatively late level 6. And with like I said, the bottle's still up on Haxor, and he's going to hit level 6 here pretty much after these creep. Yep, right there. He hits level 6, and now you have Tempest sitting behind him. So they're going to look to push this tower, and that's what you do. You already have the natural deny from Plague, and then we put a little bit of push against that. It's really difficult to deal with that.
Yeah, so Slicks is going to use that Contagion to snipe out a creep kill right there, but in the end, this tower is going to take a lot of pressure, and they'll need to do a little bit more if they want to defend it. We'll see if they do, whether invulnerability or even TPs come in here from V0TE just did, or if they just even counter-push themselves. And in fact, it looks like that's what they're going to do. Balfagor and Keeper of the Forest, as well as Luna, are here at the bottom lane, and they're going to do a mass push. But this top tower, it will fall in favor of Complexity. But the bottom tower, like I said, is also taking a lot of pressure itself, and it's very likely going to fall here. Will it be denied? That's the question, because Wild's still hanging his ground. Engineer's also here, and actually Boo Boo, he might be able to get it. No, it's just too much damage from V0TE right there, with all the minions especially. And it ends up being a 1-for-1 tower exchange, so not the worst thing in the world for either team, I guess. But actually, V0TE is going to keep this going with that mass creep wave, and even Plated Greed is going to be used by Balfagor, so we'll see if they're able to get a secondary tower now even.
Yeah, they should be able to. You also have some counter pushing coming out at the same time. Actually, Plague might get gone on right here. The stun's coming out. He does not have mana for an ulti. Even the Tempest Hole is coming out. Slicks will probably fall. You do have a TP that was actually canceled. I don't know if on purpose, but
Yeah.
I don't think that really was going to do anything anyway. So missing, or unfortunately wasting a little bit of gold right there for the TP. They are probably going to get this top, or this bottom tower, I should say. They're continuing to apply pressure, but in the meantime, you have the kill on to Plague, and then the top tower for them will probably fall as well. So Complexity probably getting the better exchange out of that with the kill and the tower.
Deadwood's coming over here. He's going to try to deny it, and vulnerability is going to be used right there. And this bottom tower, though, it's definitely going to fall. But look at what we have. Hammerstorm setting up. Engineer does not have enough mana for anything either. Though the top tower goes down. Hammerstorm's in the background. Port coming in. Root is ready to go for Keeper of the Forest. He's going to root right there. The HoN New Earth coming in as well. The tower goes down in favor of Vote. And Tempest in a lot of trouble. Tempest will fall right there. Wild Soul, Engineer, and Hammerstorm, they all fall back themselves. In fact, Hammerstorm taking a lot of damage to the Balfagor minion there. But he will live. So, man, I mean, some crazy stuff going on here. We're only 8 minutes into this game, Troll.
Lots of tower pushing, lots of pushing, counter pushing, all that jazz. And unfortunately, I don't think that was really the best TP placement for Chessie right there. He just got annihilated. Good job by Haxron actually sniping out the last hit on the tower there at the top lane. I wasn't really watching it, but I know that Deadwood and obviously Plague were around to try to stop that. But Haxron did get credit for that kill. So his farm, well, he's topping the game. Well, no, he's not topping the game. Look at Balfagor, 450 gold per minute. My God.
Yeah, again, Keizu really, he, not only with the obviously the 2 tower pushes, but he was maximizing his creep farm very well at the bottom lane. So you got to give him credit for that. And this middle tower now, a lot of pressure coming out again with Keeper and Balfagor. You have so much minion push potential, and it really is showing early on here. That's another tower kill. Already 3 towers down in favor of Vote. Of course, they have lost 2 themselves, but obviously still winning that when it's all said and done. You got Hammerstorm off to the side. He's trying to find some initiation chance perhaps, but can't get that just yet. And the secondary tower is going to start taking a lot of damage now. So Engineer obviously using that turret to try to keep this push happening for much as possible, but new trees are spawned. Balfagor, he will have some more minions perhaps. Nope, not necessarily more minions here in the near future, but and the tower will stay alive for now, but again, just a lot of just crazy aggressive pressure being put on here by Vote.
Yeah, definitely. And they're not letting up. You can't. They have no carry. They have an early game team with lots of push. They need to keep doing this. And we saw this when Complexity kind of, I don't want to say the downfall of Complexity. That would be inaccurate. But after we saw Complexity started losing a lot more, it was starting off with this Balfagor pick. And I think people realize that, you know, Balfagor is no longer, and never really was, a troll-style hero. This hero has a lot of crazy push and a huge AoE ultimate.
Yeah. Here we go again. Plated Greaves activated. The armor buff coming out, and this tower will fall. Will it be denied? And vulnerability, maybe. I don't know if it's up just yet. It's going to be denied right there. Great job by Moomiander using Boo Boo, but at what cost right here? Root coming out. There's that quick kill one. Wretched Egg blinking away, but the quick kill already having an Engineer wasn't even able to get anything off after that. Boo Boo will also fall as a Plague U bounces around. And the rest of Complexity will stay alive, however. But again, damage done by Vote. And the goal lead is now looking to be about 2,400 here early on, and they're going to move right to the top lane, it looks like.
Yep, definitely. That was a good grasp right there by Swinmellis to set that Keeper ultimate up, which did hit 2 heroes and was very effective right there. Yeah, I mean, they're just taking it to him. They have that early aggression team. Once they get the barrier up onto Balfagor, which looks like he is rushing for that right after those Plated Greaves and that Ring of the Teacher, it's going to be hard for them to do really any damage to them. Balfagor's too tanky. You have tons of armor on him from Plague himself and Keeper of the Forest. You have burst damage coming out from Deadwood. You have counter push and spam coming out from really everybody. I mean, it's a very, very sound lineup as far as pushing in the early game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and obviously it's coming together here. So again, still only 11 minutes into this game. You really got to keep checking that timer in games like this because it feels like we're maybe like 30 minutes in, but it's only 11 minutes into this game, and after just all this push that's been happening. Now the middle lane is going to be pushed by Complexity. They are losing the first tower up top, though. Deadwood jumps in with a Falcon Punch, but can't get the kill. Yes, he will in the end. Tempest will fall, but now Deadwood in a lot of trouble himself. Energy field use. He's trying to go to the outskirts of it, staying away from Hammerstorm, but it just wasn't enough. Good attempt right there, but it goes down. But a lot of towers falling. The bottom tower going down in favor of Complexity. Top one going down in favor of Vote. And this middle tower will also go down in favor of Complexity, but at what cost right here? Hammerstorm in some trouble. Regurgitating to slow him down. The stun onto Aluna in the background. Actually, very smart stun right there. And he might be fine. I mean, Galvanize coming up in 10 seconds. He has a full charge power supply. Good juke right there. As yeah, he's been hero blocked, but he goes the other way, and Balfour not able to stay in front. So,
yeah, good movement from BK. Great stun as well, and then good job by Franz into getting that stun, that keg stun right as the TPs were happening. Hit two players right there. So definitely Complexity got the better deal right there. They have actually closed the gap as far as golden experience. They did good counter pushing. That's what you have to do against a push lineup. If you can't fight it heads on. If you can't defend and spam out, you got to counter push. There's no reason trying to defend when you can't do it. So they got two towers and a kill compared to what, 1 tower and a kill for Stay Green or Team Vote. So yeah, making the best of a bad situation, actually slightly ahead in experience.
Yeah, it's the golden experience. It's pretty close right now after what's all happened here, and complexity again. It's especially this team. I mean, they've been running against the strategy quite a bit lately. You know, from before DreamHack to now after DreamHack, and so it's obviously they're getting more and more comfortable perhaps with fighting against it. And as we've seen in this game, you know, again, just the counter push strategy, it seems to work out fairly well. And right now, you're in a pretty good spot, honestly, if you're complexing. I mean, sure, Vote maybe they're also in a great spot, so really it's going to be interesting to see how this game kind of plays on here. Now only 13 minutes into the game, but items on the Hellborn side, you have 2,900 gold on Wild Soul, so he is very good in terms of his farm. He's on his way to that early Maka Brilliance. Wretched Haxrin, 400 gold per minute himself. And it's showing. I mean, he's got Steam Boots, Mighty Blade, and his first Arcana already finished. So, and then of course you have Hammerstorm, and no Alchemist Bones this time around, but he has the Steam Boots into a Mighty Blade here. And actually, I noticed he did this last game too. He got the early Crushing Claw, and he just kind of sits on that. So,
shout out to Zai. Yeah, we actually scrimmed. It was a mixed scrim actually. I was playing with him, and Zai went Hammerstorm mid. We had a Hammerstorm and Luna mid, and well, Bika was actually playing that game as well, and well, it was actually against Team Vote, and he went the early. It was early Crushing Claw just for some extra HP, and make yourself tanky in that early game. But well, we might have some fighting action coming out. Oh, the root coming out on Wretched Hag. Is it going to be enough? I'm not quite sure. Oh, the silence from Kazu actually. Well done right there from Balfagor. And they get the easy kill on the Haxer.
Yeah, see, that's an ability that I know I forget a lot, and so I'm sure a lot of viewers even they kind of forget that about Balfagor. The demonic pathogen. It's actually pretty solid at silence ability, and that eventually set up the kill. I was just like, oh crap, they don't have another stun, are they gonna get this kill? But all of a sudden the silence came out, and what better way to guarantee a kill on a hero like Wretched Hag? So yeah, very well played right there by the Legion team, and that demonic pathogen. And the great thing about it also spreads around, of course, if they're clumped up. So you got to be careful somewhat against that. Barrier Idol already finished. Speaking of Balfagor, so they have that tool now to work with as well as far as pushing up into the base. Portal Key on Keeper of the Forest. Deadwood hasn't really been able to get the greatest farm this game. He's sitting at 263 gold per minute, so it's not bad by any means. But Steam Boots Power Supply and a bottle himself, not going to have that Portal Key for a little bit here. But they're not going to push into the base just yet.
Pretty much all his farm is from towers and like that 1 kill and 1 assist. He only has 28 CS, so not really getting this farm that way. But Moonmeander has his Sword of the High, and that's pretty damn good for him. He was that Suicide Wild Soul, and they have kind of obviously abandoned lanes and whatnot, but to try to get pushing done, and they have done that successfully. But having this early Maka Brilliance for him is going to be very effective against this push.
Yeah. Yeah, of course it will be. Now he still needs the pattern, obviously, but well on his way to that. So it's going to be interesting to see how Vote, or when Vote, I should say, decides to kind of make that push happen. The Astrolabe, the Barrier Idol, they got that Portal Key on Keeper. It seems like they got some actually pretty strong items here very, very early on in the game to perhaps make a push even into the base happen. So Balfagor is still continuing to kind of clean up the creep waves a little bit. As a team, they're kind of cleaning out the jungle. There's a Plated Greaves going to be used. And going to send in both the Tree Army as well as the Balfagor minions, maybe with the next creep wave. We'll see. But again, when will he activate that Barrier Idol and go uphill? We'll see. Bottom lane going to be defended by now for Deadwood, so it doesn't look like they're going to try to break into the base just yet. And Deadwood will try to pick up on some more farm down here. Also preventing Wretched Hag from pushing out the bottom tower as she ports away. And actually the bottom tower will be denied, but again, still another tower down. And we only have one total outer base tower left between the two teams here. And that's the middle secondary tower for Vote. So again, only 16.5 minutes in. There's just been a lot of pushing going on in this game here.
Yeah, I mean, as expected. Only 4, or actually I should say only 8 hero kills in this lot of time. But yeah, not too much more to say as teams are just kind of playing a more passive route right now because, well, most of the towers are all dead. So you're going to have to get a little bit more items until you decide to do push up into that high ground. Shrunken Head is very close to being finished onto B-Kid. And like I said, that Maka Brilliance, once they get it up on Boo Boo, that's going to be a very effective tool in the counter pushing. Looks like they're setting up something mid for now, but they're missing 2 members of their team, being Aluna and Deadwood. And Deadwood did go for more of the tanky build right now. At least he has that Grave Locket. Not going to go for a Portal Key anytime soon. So, and he bought something else, I want to say, just a second ago. Maybe it was a vestment. Something's coming on the courier. It is a vestment. Yeah, so they're going to go that team fight build. He doesn't want that initiation. They have initiation from from Z-Freak playing that
Yeah.
keeper. I guess that's all they need, I want to
Yeah.
say. And him plus, of course, that Plague Rider ultimate. If Plague gets level 11 anytime soon, too, that ultimate does a lot more damage.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah, that will be huge, of course, for them to get that. Now, again, this was part of a little bit of a downfall for V0TE the first game, remember, where they kind of got really focused on Congor. Not to say that's the same thing as this game, but just kind of bringing up a point. But this game, it kind of makes sense what they're doing right here. They're not going to push up into the base right just yet, so they're going to go ahead and attempt Congor. Now, the minions are all going to end up dying right here, maybe. I mean, the Astrolabe heal is not going to be used, actually, so the minions will fall. But Complexity, they know something's up. They do have that warded sight yet again, placed by Franzi. But here we go, jump in from the Legion team, actually give it the Force Root, and it will get the kill right off the bat on the Wretched Act. Tempest off to the side. He has an ultimate himself, but he's worried about staying alive right now. Boo Boo in the foreground does not have that Mock of Brilliance just yet, and Boo Boo may end up falling. No, he'll barely survive. Tempest still off to the side, though, still trying to get away. We use that portal key, and he should be able to here if he finds it even necessary. So in the end, Complexity, they lose one player, but actually he buys back. I believe that was, Haxorus buys back. So they're ready to fight this even. Haxorus in the front lines. The Haunt is applied to Balfagor, and the Legion team now realizing they may need to be the ones to fall back here. The Tree Dogs in the foreground are doing a little bit of blocking, and Balfagor just continuing to walk away. So V0TE does not want to really commit to a fight just yet, as especially with the Root being on cooldown here for Keeper of the Forest. So they'll fall back, and it only ends up being the one death on the Wretched Hack there.
yeah, and he did buy out, so I think that was the key. Is, oh, Wretched Hag bought out, get back, get back. There's no point in fighting right now. Just let them waste their buyback, let them waste their gold. But in the end, Complexity did fend off what they needed to, and that was the Congor kill.
Yeah.
So that's the important thing. They're still not, actually they're quite ahead now in experience. And the gold lead hasn't really taken off despite all the tower pushing coming out. I mean, they're basically only ahead by one tower, like that mid tower, the tier 2 tower in mid. So in that regard, Complexity's doing a pretty good job. Double damage rune is bottom. I'm surprised that hasn't been bottled up just yet. Oh, Beaked has a bottle on Hammerstorm as well as his Shrunken Head. So he's going to be hitting like a truck now when he activates that ult. That brute strength plus that double damage.
Yeah, he's level 11, the Shrunken Head, so yeah, his brute strength. He'll be putting out a good amount of damage here. He is going to, or at least I guess assist Haxorus in finishing off these Ancients. Of course, Haxorus is, well, we'll see whether or not he goes for the Shrunken Head or to finish the Hellflower first. The first game he did end up finishing the Hellflower first, but maybe it's different this game.
This game, I honestly think Shrunken Head would be better than Hellflower this game. I think just living through the initial, burst of spells being like Plague Rider ultimate, Keeper ultimate, getting out of that, not getting hit by the Balfagor ultimate if your Shrunken Head is applied. I think that would be much smarter. So, obviously Hellflower is more aggressive, and if you pick off someone before the team fight, they have to fight as a team, SG. They have to. And if they lose like a crucial member of that team, like say Deadwood or Keeper of the Forest before, then they basically have to fall back. So that's probably the thinking of Haxorus.
Yeah. He's going to port back to base right here, and well, he just buys another Homecoming Stone, so nothing of total knowing of what exactly he's going to go for. But in the meantime, I believe these are triple stack Ancients just being cleared up between Plague Rider and Keeper of the Forest, actually. So kind of spreading out some farm right there. Keeper of the Forest, nearly 2,000 gold saved up. Plague Rider looks like he might be working towards something like a Tablet of Command after finishing that Astrolabe. And also, as you mentioned, he's still level 10, actually. I want to say maybe after cleaning up a couple more of these, he should be level 11, but and again, having that level 11 ultimate, though, going into another fight, especially for Plague Rider, will be absolutely huge here for V0TE as a team. It just will do so much more damage. And he still is not hitting level 11, though. No, okay, still going to be level 10, actually, so seems like he's been that forever. But he's just on the brink of it, but hopefully for their sake, he can hit that soon enough. Meanwhile, the top lane, Deadwood's up here, actually in the trees currently, waiting to maybe bait onto somebody. He does have level 11, so of course his level 2 Falcon Punch, as I call it.
Yeah.
Maybe trying to get Wretched Ag up here, but not going to happen for now. He does have 1,600 gold saved up, so he's got some great build-up items, and that portal key is going to be coming up shortly here, it seems like.
Yeah, that'll be good for him. I'm curious to see what Keeper now gets. The Souls Bulwark is up on Keizu. You have the Astrolabe up on the Slicks. So what does that leave for Zephyr playing this Keeper? Maybe a Refresher. Like, that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
Other than that, if you're Jeppins, a Basher, of course.
Shout out to Jeppins.
God, that was... anyway.
I remember pointing that out. That was a scrimmage.
Oh, Hag! Oh, the Rotten Grasp actually is missed. He's going to TP out. Deadwood knows that Hag doesn't have any Homecoming Stone canceling ability, so he gets the TP out after he misses that Rotten Grasp. Good attempt, but just wasn't able to connect.
Yeah, so not able to come through right there. Abyssal Skull could be another item, perhaps, that they could still use.
Oh, sure.
Here on the Legion team, so
that would be good.
I believe he could purchase that by now if he did. Well, yeah, it's 2050 gold, so if he was going that route. But yeah, maybe going to be going something else here.
No,
instead.
That'd be a great pickup for them.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a Ring of the Teacher. They do have one actually. Action in the Ancients.
Yeah, Wild Soul getting caught out. Falcon Punch to use. Strength reduction and everything else. He's dropping pretty quickly, but the energy field coming out. And that will secure Moomiander staying alive. So great save right there. And he'll be fine. So obviously pretty risky doing the opposition Ancients, especially in a game like this. But
yeah,
it does pay off. Gets them and gets the hell on out of there. So good little nifty move going on from Moomiander.
Again, good job by Franzi, man.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes these supports don't get enough credit. This guy's playing a good Aluna as well. But I mean, I've been watching Franzi a lot. He's just always sound. Like, his positioning is great. He's saving his teammates time and time again. Great keg stuns to stop the follow-up of the enemy team. And yeah, just well played by him in general this entire series.
Here we go again. Congor going to be attempted here somewhat by V0TE. And something tells me it's not actually going to follow through as the Hellborn team again. The ward aside, in fact, it was just placed again by Franzi. Right there in that perfect position that the Legion team, both the first game and this game, that just seems like they haven't been able to find that. And so they are being spotted here by Complexity, but Complexity knows they have a little bit of time. They don't necessarily need to rush into here if they wanted to stop it. And V0TE is, well, they're going to start retreating here. So, like I say, you want to be careful if you're V0TE. The big part of that first game, at least in my opinion, why, it kind of was turned around in favor of Complexity was because they just got so focused on trying to kill Congor for so long. Not saying that it's a problem yet by any means, but you do want to keep that in mind here. So we'll see how long they invest. And again, Balfgor, it's at this point, it's like, why are you even still there doing damage? Because it really just seems like minimal, and you're taking a bit of damage. But
there's double damage room bottom. He can't see that because they don't have a sight or anything. They know that it's not top. I'm pretty sure. I think that ward will see it. Yeah, it will. But Beacon's trying to go in for the flank, it looks like.
Oh, Deadwood jumping in. Wretched Egg going to be bursted down. That's a great start here for V0TE coming off the bat. The Root also in the background coming out. The Plague bouncing out. No, it only bounces once, and Wild Soul would be more than fine. Meanwhile, back here, though, Keeper the Force still chasing. But now Keeper the Force going to start falling back. Nature's Field. There's the Hell on there with the 80+ charges coming out. Engineer and Wild Soul falling back. Shrunken Head Hammerstorm, though, he is pissed off, and he wants some kills, damn it. Brute Strength is activated, 270 damage. He's going to be sent, though. The Demonic Pathogen coming out, and Hammerstorm will fall right here. It's looking like a very good spot right now for V0TE. Are there any buybacks just yet? There's not. But the Tempest Ultimate pulling it back for a region apply. Not going to be enough, though. The Kexit on top of that. Both Balfagor and Plague Eater will fall. Deadwood also gets picked off, and actually Complexity fights strong in the end. The Tempest Ultimate was so clutch right there from Jesse, and that does it for Complexity.
That is the bottom line. Chessie absolutely rectified that and totally saved from Complexity from losing out on a huge team fight. Great, fantastic Aluna stun by Skyzo. It hit a 4 seconds onto Hammerstorm. Obviously, it bounces and bounces. And the 4-second one hit Hammerstorm right after that Shrunken Head deactivated. And there was nothing the Hammerstorm could do. So good job by Skyzo. But yeah, absolutely one fight by Chessie.
Yeah.
Fantastic job.
Yeah, big plays indeed. And hell, you look at the stats right now after that fight. 4,200 experience lead, a 1,700 gold lead in favor of Complexity now, 25.5 minutes in. So as a team, things are starting to add up. And, the obvious thing, but again, to reiterate it, is that this Hellborn team Complexity, they do have the stronger late game team, definitely. Your Wretched Hag, your Wild Soul, your Hammerstorm, compared to everyone really on this Legion side. They don't have really even a carry option. So they know that their time is kind of running out here, and they need to make something happen, whether that's kind of a sneaky Congor kill, which again, with this Ward of Sight being here and them still not being able to spot it, that's probably not going to happen, whether that's pushing into the base, but they are once again going to kind of go to this Congor pit, and we'll see how this shapes up here for V0TE. The minions are up. They're somewhat committing to this here. Of course, the Stomp doing some work here from Congor, but Hellborn side, you got Hammerstorm. He's ready to go. He does not have a portal key, but he is ready to initiate. Soul's Bulwark just purchased by Wild Soul. And the rest of the team is definitely starting to run on over. So again, Complexity knows this whole thing that is going on. The minions are now gone. And actually, V0TE, it seems like that they're actually committing to this quite a bit now. And they are going to go for the kill here. So this could set up very interesting, actually. Turret even coming out. Here comes Wild Soul. Boo Boo coming in here with a Mocker Brilliance doing some damage. And again, also canceling the portal keys. Keeper the Force maybe in some trouble off to the side. Rotten Grasp hitting Wild Soul there. But no initiation just yet from either team. And actually, it looks like V0TE, they'll kind of spread out now.
Yeah, I feel like they could have actually gone in right there. I'm not 100% sure, but all the ultimates are up for both teams except that Tempest ultimate. He does not have that, and that's probably the key for V0TE maybe wanting to take this fight. But I will say last fight, Haxorn, he hasn't been able to really do anything this game. Like, he's been caught out of position a number of times. He didn't activate his Shrunken Head at all. He did get gone by Deadwood, so he doesn't really care about your Shrunken Head, but here we go with the fight.
Here we go. Hammerstorm thinking about going in. He has that Shrunken Head and Tangle on a Balfagor right there. Congor still has a decent amount of life, about just over 1,000 lives, so he's not going to be dropping anytime shortly. Hammerstorm charging in, though. Shrunken Head still not activating stunts. And Plague Runner, though. There's the Shrunken Head. He wants this kill right off the bat. Wretched Egg jumps in, but Plague Runner's just kiting away in the meantime in the background. The Keeper Root going off. Energy Field going to be activated. Balfagor taking the silence himself. Engineer may fall right here. No, Engineer will barely survive, actually. Still nobody dead. Finally, in the background, we have one player going down and Keeper the Force, it looks like. Hammerstorm is still chasing Deadwood. Rotten Grass coming out, but Hammerstorm going the long way around. But here comes Wretched Hag. She's going to be caught somewhat, but the rest of VOTE is going to fall back. But yeah, Congor, he's low enough to the point where now Complexity can go back and easily finish him off right here.
Yeah, this is one of those problems with Hammerstorm is you do get kited quite easily. That's one of his drawbacks until you get an item like Portal Key or like Elder Parasite, in my opinion. That's why I like Elder Parasite so much, is because you're so fast and people can't really run away from you. But nonetheless, he's dishing out tons of damage, and it does make people run for their lives. So that was easily a one fight there by Complexity, as they obviously pick up the Token of Life, and it's on Wretched Hag. Still not able to find an opening, though. Wretched Hag hasn't been able to use a Bat Blast, use the Shrunken Head, but still is not able to find an opening. Doesn't really matter. Not when you pick up Congor and you take the lead as far as golden experience goes. Now 7,000 experience lead for Complexity.
Well, two things. I mean, one, going back to Wretched Hag, I mean, look at the damage chart. She's only done 7% overall hero damage done. And compared to everyone else in this game, you know, it really is down there. Yeah, so that kind of shows what you're talking about and gives fact to that point. But also the other thing, I'm actually curious what you think, Trop. You know, obviously it's not kind of a hindsight, but I was kind of reiterating there that, sure, I mean, Tempest Ultimate is down. If you're VOTE, though, should you be so committed to trying to get Congor killed, knowing that Complexity can see you? I mean, it was so clear that they knew what was going on there.
It becomes a problem when you take it down too low that you can't just leave. So they created that problem for themselves.
Yeah.
They should have never done it in the first place, I feel like. And again, just counter the damn ward. Like, it's so obvious that they know. Maybe at the point you're thinking, well, they can just keep sitting the bear and they know that. But they just clearly are playing you in a way that they know exactly when you're going in. They know it when it's very, very low. And they just simply need to watch this replay or something and know that this ward is totally owning them. It really is. And like you said, the Complexity easily has the late game, so that's got to be the scary thing. Is when you run a strat like this and when you know you're down. They should know that they're down with Wretched Hag. Just look at the numbers of the levels and you know you're down.
Oh, yeah.
And now with the item picks that they have. By the way, Hag did go for a Shrunken Head before Hellflower. I never really made that a point, but she did, which I think is great, but still has not really been able to do anything. But yeah, no, they shouldn't have even attempted to take Congor there.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of funny just thinking to this point, but every single game, this is now, of course, the third and final game here between VOTE and Complexity in the Losers Bracket Finals for the Diamond Division Cycle 1. But every single game, Congor has been the biggest factor when you think about it. Of course, the first game with all that discussion, whether or not that was even worth it for VOTE in the first place, to commit so much time. Obviously, game number 2, VOTE doing the level 1 Congor and eventually helping to lead them to success there in game 2. And then here we go, game 3. Again, the Congor pit, VOTE seeming somewhat committed, and as you so put it, I mean, it gets to the point where you're so low where you kind of just force yourself to have to stay in there. But Complexity took advantage of that. So every single game seems like Congor playing such a huge role here. And something tells me, even to finish off this one, we could very likely see another Congor fight happening. But Boo Boo's starting to get pretty beefy himself. He's got the Soul's Bulwark, Ghost Marchers now even picked up on him. Another 900 gold saved up for Wild. So Moomiator going the Striders route, by the way. Seems like we're starting to see that more and more lately on Wild Soul himself, so good for him. Portal Key on Hammerstorm. And Hellflower is going to be here in the near future, you got to think, for Wretched Hag as well. So, yeah, things are definitely coming together nicely for Complexity. And VOTE, again, you can't blame them, but something needs to happen. And whether that's just grouping up, pushing into the base, just hoping for the best, picking somebody off. But we'll see what they do. Right now, it seems like they are somewhat grouping up here in the middle lane. We'll see if they actually commit to some type of push, though.
Yeah, they're almost sort of in that desperation mode of trying to push. And I will say that it can work. Like, Balfagor does a ton of damage and a ton of push. And obviously, you know, you want people to cast spells. You want to be taking damage and then reverse that damage with the Hell on New Worth. And you have fantastic AoE between Keeper and Plague, lots of armor. But that's going to be especially good against Hammerstorm. But as Wretched Hag starts to get more items, as you know, Wild Soul starts to get more items, he's the top farmer in the game actually, at 357 gold per minute, just a hair above both Kesu and Haxorn. But where is his bear? He has Bulwark as well as that Mock of Brilliance on his bear. So yeah, he's doing fantastically. Again, it's just a matter of, as this approaches late game, which it is, Complexity are furthering their lead in both gold and experience, and there's nothing that SG can do about that.
Just like the first game, again, Hammerstorm, he is going the cleave route. He has a level 4 cleave, or a mighty swing in this case, picked up. Of course, that means 60% of the damage he's doing in a 250 radius cone in front of him is being splashed. So, again, that on top of Tempest especially can be some great synergy and makes for some a lot of damage output from him. So he's got that Shrunken Head portal key. We'll see, obviously, where he goes from here. As just like the first game, you know, obviously, the first game he went the Soul's Bulwark, but again, Booby, as you just mentioned, he has a Soul's Bulwark. Might see something a little bit different here from Hammerstorm this time around, if it maybe happens to be that Rift Shards route or something else. But we'll see where BK decides to go from here. Obviously, he's going to pause for now. Looks like Complexity. Go ahead and pause in the game to take care of a quick issue, but join back shortly here. I saw Keep the Force. He has an Arcana. I did see him purchase a Sustainer right there, too. So, obviously, a Restoration Stone in the works for him, and especially against a Tempest, that's a very, very powerful item to have. So, yeah, going to be huge here for the Legion team. So maybe, as I always like to say in these situations, where especially a team like this, they are down. They're kind of in that desperate desperate sense here. Yeah. In this game. Maybe saving for that one item, in this case a Restoration Stone, then go all out. But
it would be good, but I totally agree with you, man. I really think that Abyssal Skull is kind of like the missing piece to this puzzle for the Legion team. They need something else to just make them a little bit more beefy in team fights. Yeah. And obviously the extra armor that you get, it's fantastic against Hammerstorm. You're already stacking tons of armor between Keeper and Plague. True. Why not add more? And it's going to be good against, Wild Soul once he gets more damage up on the Boo Boo. And yeah, so I think that, Refresher is great. Does he actually have the Sustainer?
He purchased it, I believe.
He does have it.
So yeah.
Okay, so he's relatively close, so it's not that bad. But still, I think maybe Plague could get an Abyssal Skull. I definitely think it's needed. I agree with you there.
All right, let's get it
on. We'll see if that Abyssal Skull comes up here.
And actually, Ring of the Teacher was sold on Keizu. I know Sender would be so angry to see that they don't have a Ring of the Teacher. It's not the hugest deal in the world, but it's kind of like, you're missing an item slot for a TP, but you don't really need TPs when you're pushing as 5 together. Yeah. So, interesting. Maybe he goes for a Chalice. Very, very interesting. Yeah. That's kind of a waste of gold at this point, in my opinion. Well, yeah. Especially when you have a Mana Ring up on Keeper. And
especially when you could use a Ring of Teacher. I mean, not only for that, but then eventually even an Abyssal Skull, as we just talked about. So, yeah, that's for this being a team where it's about grouping up and pushing, yeah, I am a little bit taken back by his choice to go Blood Chalice there, over leaving it open for a Homecoming Stone even. So, yeah, that is an interesting choice coming up from KSU. But he has been the top farmer for his team constantly since the beginning in this game, and still continuing to do so. Obviously up there with both Wretched Hag and Wild Soul of Complexity when you look at the gold per minute chart. So, going to regurgitate here on the middle lane, pick up some corpses, and also get some creep kills here in the meantime at the top side. Keeper of the Forest farming up the creep lane a little bit. Again, he's trying to finish off his own Restoration Stone here as Hellflower has just been finished on a Wretched Hag, by the way, who's also level 16. So again, he really hasn't had the largest of impact this game as Haxorin. But especially with the Hellflower pickup now, you got to figure, and being level 16, that he's going to start being a pretty big deal here for Complexity. So, and hell, he has a Token of Life too, which, by the way, only has 1 minute and 20 left. So Complexity not necessarily going to aggressively use the Token of Life, but
the one thing, this is the one opening that Legion has, is if they spot that Hellflower pickup onto Wretched Hag, you can safely assume he doesn't have buyout. Like, both teams are farming relatively slowly at this pace when you keep pushing like this. And he does have the Token of Life, and maybe that's their cue to try to fight them, is they want to use this token. If they don't use it though, and Legion's team decides to push and see that the token's gone and the Hellflower's up there for Plague Rider, or sorry, as Plague Rider just picked up Portal Key, I don't know why I said that, but Hellflower up for Hag. If they burst him down, obviously they can do so with the Deadwood Punch, even though he has a Shrunken Head. That's their opening to winning and coming back in this game and getting those rags. So it's happened a number of times. I mean, Haxman, he hasn't exactly had the best position in these team fights. But that's their opening, if your team vote, is getting that Hag killed. And you do have the Shrunken Head up on a Tempest, but there are 2 different ways to cancel that, both being from Keeper and Plague Rider. So yeah. And Plague Rider just bought a Portal Key now to position himself a little bit better.
Yeah, Slick's going the Portal Q route here to be able to jump in and get some decent ultimates off as a result of that. So we'll see how much use he makes of that. Hungary's Spirit has been picked up by Hammerstorm. I think it's going to be turned into an Elder Parasite once he gets enough gold for that right here. And so that's going to be his item of choice, apparently, going into what possibly could be the next big fight coming up. In fact, there we go, Elder Parasite purchase. Again, this game's a little bit different than the first game in the sense you already have a Soul's Bulwark on Wild Soul. And he didn't even go Alchemist Bones first either, so he's going for more of the, I'm going to get myself more attack speed, but in return, you will take a little bit more damage, of course, as, what is it now, 15%, I know it's been changed around a little bit, but you take 15% damage in return as a result of that. Speaking of that, by the way, there was actually an interesting change. It's a completely side topic somewhat, but I saw a change to Pestilence, and I want to say the most recent one before that, the patch, where his flight actually no longer amplifies your damage taken.
Right.
I think it reduces... Or it obviously had another change to that, I believe, but...
No, that was it.
That was it? It was
Yeah.
just straight up that? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it.
It's interesting, yeah.
So
You don't take more damage.
going to be completely viable now.
Yeah. Okay, that's kind of a side topic there. I thought that was an interesting... I love Pestilence. I've always loved Pestilence, and it is fun when we see him every now and then.
Yeah?
But yeah. I don't think it's a change to make him seen. Restoration Stone has been finished, though, on Z-Freak. So again, maybe that's the item. That's the god
Sure.
item that they were looking for.
They still need Abyssal Skull, I feel. Like, Casey should sell that stupid Chalice that he bought and just buy an Abyssal. It's going to be way better for their team. Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, he does have a Chalice, I suppose, and can spam his abilities more liberally. But here we go with the push. Here we go. And like I said, they're fighting now. But here's the problem is, even though no Token of Life on the hack, he's built up some time to get some buyback gold. I want to say he has enough. Never mind, he just bought a plate.
Nope.
No, I don't agree with that one bit. Don't agree with that
Especially
one
with the
bit.
push coming right
That
here.
is such a terrible idea.
Yeah, and this isn't like a crazy physical. I mean, granted, Deadwood sure a decent amount of physical, but yeah, I think that is kind of silly by Haxton right there, going into what could be an epic fight right here. But his choice, and one that he made. 4 Spider Mines are sitting right here. It's only level 1
Yeah.
Spider Mines, but that's some decent damage outputs. I believe that's what 600 damage right now if they all go off, and 600 mat. Hey, there's another one, so 750 damage here if they walk right into it. So you need to be careful on that.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, the plate mail is going to, prevent you a little bit of damage from Deadwood's ulti, which is kind of like the scariest thing for you. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's just a little bit risky. I'd rather have the buyout, especially when you're getting pushed on. If you were pushing, I could see it.
There we go, Hammerstorm jumping in on it. Deadwood swing him on. Oh, the bat blast completely missing, though. Great tablet from his teammates right there. Hellfire being applied, but Deadwood is still alive, and the Legion team could definitely return this. It seems like Plague Gunner jumping in with the Portal Key. Mumianer gets killed on a Z-Freak in the background, by the way. Given the Force was up there with a root going off. Hammerstorm, though, he's now turning around under pressure off. The hell on there with the Tempest ultimate pulling them in, though, but down goes Hammerstorm. Balfagor still well alive. Tempest needs to be somewhat careful right here. He does have the trigger it up, but Soda Scream blinking from Metrodac, but there's the Falcon Punch coming. Also has the plate of creeps, but it's not going to matter right there on the plate mail. He goes down, cannot buy back. Tempest now falling back. Demonic Pathogen being applied, and there's the jumping from Dead with a snipe from a Luna right there. Hat-trick coming out for Skyzo, and Vote definitely winning that fight right there.
Yep.
When it's all said and done. Great. I didn't actually see it on screen, but I'm sure Z-Freak did a pretty good job of rooting the team. Or did he even root? Okay, he did, but he resto stoned.
Yeah, he didn't get the second root off, which is very unfortunate, especially even the fact that he casted his Resto Stone. But
Yeah.
I gotta say, great job by Skyzo. I mean, all of his power throws were connecting. Great Luna stuns, and just doing a really, really good job this game, and amidst these team fights. So showing that he can play the second support role, or actually in this case the main support role, quite effectively.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, they just chased that Deadwood way too long. Like, they were trying so hard to get that kill. Like you mentioned, the Bat Blast missed. It hit nobody except for the Balfagor, who did like absolutely no damage to him. I wonder if he even had that Bear Idol activated when they did that. Here we go again with another Congor. This is ludicrous. Why are you even there? I don't know what KZ was thinking, but yeah, they chased Deadwood for way too long. And yeah, Elder Parasite, by the way, is up onto B-Kid as well as that Portal Key. So I love his items.
Yeah, he had the last fight, but again, you got to be a little bit careful with that. Of course, the amp damage you do take yourself, the 15%. Got to be somewhat careful. He's going to blink very aggressively. Look what Beacon's doing right here. He wants to catch somebody into the Legion jungle. He's going to even farm up the creeps a little bit in the meantime, as Z-Freak is nearby, but probably won't end up running into one another. But yeah, the tunnel vision did not help right there for Complexity on the Deadwood, and definitely paid off. And there we go. Abyssal Skull just picked up, and actually on Deadwood of all heroes. Not going to lie, that's maybe the last one I expected it on, but hey, they got the Abyssal Skull, so that's what matters here. And really, you look at their items, you know, they got the Astrolabe, Abyssal Skull, the Plated Greaves, Soul's Bulwark, of course, which is now, it's going to be a Demonic Breastplate apparently in the near future, as Warp Clef was just purchased by Balfagor, actually, so they'll have that for them going. Yeah, some good team fight items. But so despite winning that fight, though, I don't know. It still feels like Vote is at a decent disadvantage. It still feels like Complexity is the one in control of this game here.
They are, but they did close the lead a little bit. And they might be thinking, you know, with Tempest Hole being down, it's actually down for only another 30 seconds, so a lot of time, I guess, there's a lot of between that the last fight and now. But how they actually grouped up, the problem, honestly, is that Keeper used his Resto Stone and wasn't able to use that second ultimate. Even if he just died right there without using the Resto Stone, they could have just pushed it in the base with a double root and knowing that the Tempest Hole was down. So now they have to kind of gauge in their minds, like, is Tempest Hole going to be up? It probably is at the rate that we're pushing. Because you try to slow push. You don't like try to like jump in the base.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, Demonic Breastplate onto Balfagor. That's
yeah.
going to be fantastic for them.
Yeah, that's
and then Abyssal Skull up on Deadwood. Okay,
Yep.
they finally have one.
Yeah, they've been putting it all together. So, like I said, maybe honestly the last hero, maybe I expected it on to see that Abyssal Skull, but they got it. That's what matters. So good for them. The Mocker plans Boo Boo with his own Demonic Breastplate, actually, you see right there, and also his own Abyssal Skull, actually. Kind of in the front
wow.
Actually, kicks on, pushing him forward. Tempest stunning it as well. Balfagor in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to be tableted back, though. Rue coming out! What was that? Zeefrig, a big no-no right there. He will wrestle so he does have another rune. And there's a second root. The hell I knew was coming out as well, but will this matter for both? A great spread from Complexity. Shrunken is being used. The energy field coming out now. Zeefrig's in a lot of trouble in those foregrounds. He's going to be silenced with the Hellflower, and he will be bursted down. So Complexity, a 1-0 advantage so far as the creeps also get cleared out. Brute Strength is activated right now, and it is up for another 7 seconds here. And Vote just doesn't want to have any of that. So, yeah, I don't know what that was from Zeefrig.
That was just a complete misplay and a direct result as to why they lost that fight. Things were looking good for them early on. They got the push tablet onto to Balfagor that was taking a lot of damage. He was up way too far. Great Kegstun to set that off. And I don't know what he was thinking it was. Maybe he just wanted to make sure that Balfagor didn't die, but that was just a total misplay. And I feel like actually Complexity could just walk in and take Congor. They have the ultimate up on Tempest. His Shrunken Head's down for another 30 or 25 seconds. But yeah, big ultimates and big cooldowns were used by Team Vote. And I think Complexity can take this Congor at ease.
Yeah, again, I'm trying to just sit here thinking, I mean, maybe Zeefrig was just simply trying to bait out a Tempest ultimate, knowing that he had the Resto Stone in the second ultimate, of course. So, but yeah, it just seemed really silly right there. And didn't work out at all for Vote. You see, they're going to use the Wing Courier right here with the invulnerability to kind of scout things out. But this Congor, it should fall in favor of Complexity. I mean, Vote they're heading over. Deadwood is getting over here fairly quickly. He's already used the Portal Key, though. And yes, it will go down in favor of Complexity, and Wretched Hag actually going to be the one to pick up the Token of Life. So things are in a very good spot right now for Complexity, especially after what happened right there. And again, Vote is with the lineup and everything. They've been in a desperate mode for a little bit here, and well, it just got even worse now after that fight.
Absolutely, Moonmeander. I mean, we haven't really talked too much about him, but he's 4-0-2 as Wild Soul, top farmer in the game actually. And has his Abyssal Skull, as you mentioned, on Boo Boo. Oh, we might see an engagement right here. Oh, no. People are just kind of a little too timid. They got the grasp on a Wretched Hag and didn't want to exactly initiate onto a Wretched Hag with his team behind him and having the Token of Life on him. So that would be silly.
Silly.
But, yeah, I mean, Moon, he's doing a lot of damage in these fights. I want to pull up the damage meter to see. I suspect it's quite high.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, top in the game. So what do you know?
Docker. Yeah, Mocker Berlin's obviously doing work, but just, yeah, Boo Boo is still built up right now. He has that Mighty Blade on himself, so... yeah, definitely Shrunken Head going to be the worst for him.
Which is kind of silly, though, I gotta say.
I don't think Shrunken Head is necessary on Wild Soul at all. I think he's already ridiculously tanky. If you're targeting him, you're probably doing something wrong anyway. So Shrunken Head is just kind of just not really worth it. I'd rather get like a Shaman's Headdress, honestly. Like get a barrier for your team. That'd be way better.
True.
But that's just my opinion. What do I know?
What do you know, Trelf? What do you know exactly? 2,700 gold coming to be saved up here on Hammerstorm. So, well, again, I really want to say. I keep saying Rift Shards because I really want to see it.
It's really good on him.
It's awesome on him.
It really is
so
good on him.
freaking hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just want to see these big numbers pop up, and especially again, you have to keep in mind the cleave that he's doing on top of that. So, can't wait to see that maybe happen here. How much is it for level 1? Is 2625. So you have enough, B-Kid. Just saying.
I mean, he's going to be hitting for basically, 300 damage. I don't know what his base damage is actually, so it's hard for me to tell.
It was like 355 when he activated.
Oh, really?
There, so yeah, it's actually pretty high.
Okay, so I guess it's the entire damage you see there on those numbers. So
pretty much, yeah.
150%, yeah. So 355, and then if you were critting on top of that, and then the rate at which you're attacking, do some damage.
That you could. Votes again. Congor is not going to be up anytime soon, so they are kind of in the vicinity. But cleaning up the Hellborn Ancients. Again, the Token of Life still on Wretched Hag for another 4.5 minutes. So obviously, Complexity has that going for them. Vote for now. They're trying to play patient here, but really, it's a case of can you afford that if you're Vote? Can you afford to sit back and play a little bit more of a patient game now, kind of changing the pace up? And Complexity, it's taken advantage of it. Brutalizer just picked up there by Moonmeander, so it wasn't the Shrunken Head route.
Well, that's much better.
It makes a lot more sense, yeah.
That's much better. If he goes back and watches this ball, he's like, moronic casters thinking I'm going for a Shrunken.
Tralf. What does Tralf know? Exactly.
Hey, you said it, man. You were like, yeah, we got the Shrunken Head and works for Wild. So I'm like, wait a second, that doesn't sound right.
I said possibly the makings of a Shrunken Head. That's how I always say it, just to be safe.
I don't have to lie. The viewers all heard it.
Of course. So yeah, Brutalizer, that definitely makes a lot. In fact, he puts it on Boo Boo right away. Of course, Boo Boo is going to be hitting crazy hard now, but uh-oh, here we go. Wretched Hag blinking in, Sonar Scream. And no follow-up, so try to maybe bait something. She does have a haste rune activated, as you can see, as well. And look at her, she's still going, and the Sonar Scream going to be used. She's really keeping Vote on their toes. But I do love the patience by Vote. I mean, really, it would have been kind of silly to try to turn that, it seems like. So,
yeah.
Instead of trying to turn it, they just say, all right, we know what you're doing. We're not going to fall for it. We're just going to fall back. This tower, though, it is going to drop quickly.
That it will. I mean, Boo Boo, look at those crits. 400, 400, 400, 400. It's just crazy. It does take some time to take him down because Boo Boo has so much armor. Let me double check him. Look at that. He's got, 26 armor as he applies that Death Pathogen to Moonmeander.
Yeah, his bear is just about dead. He's actually sending him back to base right now, so they don't have Boo Boo with them, and maybe as a result of that, they figure it's best to not stay in a fight right here.
Yeah, he should have put the Mock on himself before doing that.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to. He has an open item slot. Not like it's a big deal, but we might see an engagement right here, or maybe not. But yeah,
there we go. Plague Rider jumping in, Contagion Nuke coming out, but again, just not the follow-up play looking for Recruiter today. Here we go. Downwind with the Falcon Punch. Hammerstorm dropping, but the Bat Blast encounter. The Shrunken Head activated by Hammerstorm, and he's ready to run back in, I'm sure, finding the opportunity. Wretched Hag playing with the screen. There's a stun, but the hell on near what's coming out. Hammerstorm fall. He did not Shrunken Head right there. He goes down, Bound Eye on the ground. Wretched Hag will fall, but again, she's going to come right back up. Look at the Entangle going off though into Balfgor. Balfgor's taking a lot of damage from that Boo Boo, and Balfgor may eventually fall. The Tempest ultimate locking them down. Balfgor goes down. There's the root though immediately by Z-Freak, so it did cancel Tempest, but not enough to save Balfgor. He cannot buy back right now. He did just purchase that Barbed Armor. Invis from Keeper of the Forest, not going to be enough. Plague to jump back in, not sure what that was about. He also falls, and in the end, Complexity again wins that fight. I'm not exactly sure what the buyback situation. Hammerstorm definitely bought back. I want to say maybe Chesley too, but anyways, they come out on top, and they are going to push this tower now.
Yeah, they are. Here's the thing: when you're fighting against a token, you're already in desperate mode. I understand that, but you need to fight in base. Like, if you get them to blink on you, like at your base towers, that's the position where you can kill Wretched Hag twice. Not at your Ancients at a very awkward position. That was just not a fight that they wanted to take. At least not in that position. You want to take it at your base tower when you have the uphill advantage. And that was just risky by them. But again, they are in a terrible position. They had, I like to say, a quasi all-in team because they have no hard carry and tons of push. And they started to lose it in the mid game, and as a result, this is what we have here. The hard carry is winning.
Oh yeah, now Resurrections are coming up right here for the Legion side. They'll all be up in a matter of 6 seconds or so. Deadwood coming in with a Falcon Punch on a Wretched Hag, but the quick Shrunken Head and the blink away, she will be fine. Melee racks us down. Boo Boo's still doing a good amount of damage. And actually, Deadwood will be tableted away. So Complexity happy with that, as they should be. They get the tower. They do need to be careful about their base, obviously, themselves. Both the bottom and the top lane being pushed in pretty heavily by creep base. But they already fall back, and they're taking care of that. So yeah, Complexity again. Now, you look at the stats here. 15,000 gold lead, 18,000 plus experience lead. We're coming up to the 50-minute mark here. I know it is Game 3 and everything, but again, Vote, they've kind of been on their back feet here for a while, as far as this game specifically, and I don't know if really just much more is going to be left in them to try to take this series here, because Complexity just has too many things connecting. You see what Vote's doing right here. It is really just a group up and mass push, perhaps. Maybe this is the final. They know that the time is pretty much run out here, and they just need to make something crazy happen. So here we go. Let's see what Vote does.
Quick shout out to the viewers about why Z-Freak missed that ultimate right there. Of course, Mock canceled his PK, but that's no excuse for having that happen. Like, obviously you have a bear in your face. And I just wanted to touch on that point. So.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, they're in desperation mode. There is no token. Here we go.
Root jumping in the background. That's a pretty good one. In comes a Falcon Punch on the Wretched Egg. She plays away, though, and Hammer Star's ready to go. Brewster, look at the annihilation right there on a keep of the force.
Oh!
Down goes Deadwood, and yes, Hammer Storm. Well, he's hitting like a freaking truck. Plague Rider Ultimate's going to start bouncing around a little bit right here, do some decent damage. A portal key, though, from Tempest. He goes in, and Plague Rider will fall. Dramatic Passage didn't mean to apply. The Hell of Neworth coming out, but Hammer Storm jumping in again. He's just doing so much damage right now. Balfour, pretty damn tanky. Barbed Armor going to be used, but he will too fall. Iluna's already fallen back. Hat trick coming out for B-Kid. And, well, I think V0TE has hit the wall here, and I think Complexity could very likely be advancing on here to the grand finals.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's as simple as it got to late game. You know, it's 51 minutes in. You didn't get any racks down. You didn't even get base towers down with this very heavy pushing lineup. And when you just wait too long, and we did see a lot of like Congor attempts that, like you mentioned, just didn't seem to work out. That ward of sight that Bronzy keeps placing that same spot, spotting out everything that they're doing. And yeah, it just took it to the late game. Balfour has no buyouts. He's down from the 30. Slicks does have a buyout. Keeper of the Force is up right now. Is not going to have a root unless he refreshes his Restoration Stone. Rex, the range Rex goes down. The melee one was already dead. Doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, 30k experience lead. This is pretty much over.
Boo now has a Thunderclaw as well, so
nice.
Enhancing that attack speed even more. Yeah, here goes the man. Look at just how much damage Boo is destroying that Rax. They're both going to go down. Restoration Stone also just delivered, or purchased by Tempest, I should say, so he has now that himself. But yeah, V0TE, it's clearly at a point where it's just over. I mean, they are going to stick in here a little bit longer to try to just hope for the best, but Complexity is just too much in the end, and I believe, again, they will be the ones to get that rematch against Trademark Esports, and I know they got to be excited for that. Of course, that is going to be the later series today. I don't know what time is it right now. It's about 3:20, so actually there shouldn't be too much of a break. Again, you know what? I'll talk about that once this game's officially over. So yeah, I don't want to act like we're already calling the game. It's unofficial, but it's well. Yeah, I think it kind of explains for itself. V0TE is not in the best situation here. Is there
DD up on Hammerstorm?
Oh Jesus. Here we
go.
go.
We finally have that, and they are pushing. So this is the last set of racks available for Team V0TE, and yeah, they will fall pretty quickly, to say the least.
Oh yeah.
For Hammerstorm.
Double Tempest ultimate.
Double Tempest ult, yeah, is up on Tempest now. I don't know why Chessie doesn't have Striders. Like, again, that's a pet. I know I'm beating it. Like, it's crazy to complain about this when they're clearly winning this, but why not just invest the 300 gold and to make yourself so much faster? I don't know. Whatever. Does have a refresher.
What do you know, Trev?
Exactly. I know nothing.
Double damage rune is only 5 seconds left, so not going to be able to use it, unfortunately.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
I want to see big numbers.
Was looking forward to that, but no, not going to be able to use that. But still, he has a Axe to Malphite, by the way, so on his way to a Behemoth's Heart.
Thunderclaw's owning.
Oh yeah, just in the front ground. Poopy just doing some work. He's dropping fairly low right here, but he'll fall back and be more than fine. So V0TE is just holding off with the camp, but you just look at the middle of the base, obviously. You'll look at the top lane, it's starting to be pushed in. So Complexities, by all means, they're fine with this. They'll just kind of sit back here and play more of a patient game, knowing that the creeps will take care of what they're trying to accomplish here. Wretched Hag, she has an Ice Brand, the Frost Seal play finished. Deadwood going around the side. He's trying to find an opportunity. Rotten Crab's coming out, but it does not connect. And the Hellborn team will be more than fine at the end. In fact, they jump into Deadwood right here. The Hellflower's applied. You see the trail coming out. And jumps Tempest. There's the first ulti. The root comes out. But are we going to see a second ulti? Yes, we are. It only hits Balfour. It's immediately canceled again, though. Keep it the Force to use the second root as well. And here goes the Hell on Neworth. Wretched Hag, though, with the Shrug, so much damage. There's in the background. Hammerstorm jumping in. Picks up the kill on a Deadwood. Tempest will fall. But again, just too much damage. The base is also being destroyed. Balfour are going to go down right here. And that should make it official now in favor of Complexity. In fact, there we go. GG well play is being called. There's the vote to concede, and Complexity will take on Trademark Esports in the first ever Diamond Division Cycle number 1 Grand Finals here. Coming at you very shortly.
They get the rematch, but they are down one best of 3. That's one important thing to note. So TDM, they only have to win 1 best of 3. Complexity has to win 2. So they have to win 4 straight games. So, of course, it does have a potential to go to 6 total games. But, yeah.
Yeah, that will be a lot of fun. So, again, great point to bring up, though. TDM, they're up a series. Sure, yeah, I could definitely see still like, going to a second series with the way complexity is playing. You know, it is complexity after all, but TDM will be up a series. So the first best of the three that is going to be starting here very shortly. We are going to take a little bit of a break here, whether it's a good 15 minutes or so, but then we will be coming back, of course, with the grand final. So we're gonna of course keep the stream up. So definitely stay tuned, guys. We'll eventually be coming back. Maybe have more of an update for you very, very shortly here as far as exactly when we plan to come back, but. The grand finals for the Diamond Division, Trademark Esports will be taking on Complexity Gaming, and I know you gotta love that. There's no reason why you shouldn't. So, stay tuned, stick around, guys. Grab a quick snack, do some push-ups, do whatever, and be back for what should be an epic. At least one best of the three series, at least one. So stay tuned, guys. Again, I'm Breaking CPK, joined as always by Trial from Mador. Shout out to Killer Orange. Shout out to you guys for tuning in. Stick around though. Grand finals coming up very shortly, guys.